concentrate. Ever since I met you, nothing feels the same. Everything I do with you just feels right. 'Cause you know that I can't get you off my mind. I just wanna be here with you all the time. Nothing's new. You still make me feel the way you do. I'm your fool. Take a little bit of me, 'cause baby all I want is you. Nothing's new. Even though we're far apart, I think of you. Sometimes it's the only thing that gets me through the day. Everything I do with you just feels right. 'Cause you know that I can't get you off my mind. I just wanna be here with you all the time. Nothing's new. You still make me feel the way you do. I'm your fool. Take a little bit of me, 'cause baby all I want is you. Nothing's new.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Tuesday Night Studio Sessions. My name is Sean. I'll be your host. Hope you're having a good night. So we've been back at it 2 weeks in a row. So things are looking up for Sean Foxhorn. I'm pretty excited about the next stage in technology, to be honest. I feel like the 360 game has been super one-sided. I feel like drones in general have been super one-sided as well. And so now we have companies kind of flip-flopping. We've got Insta360 jumping into the drone game, which is the best move on the planet, in my opinion. And then DJI has put out their first 360 camera. Mine is on the way. I should get it next week. So hopefully I'll be able to have some videos to show you guys from that camera. But the real gem for my channel is going to be comparing all three cameras that were on my thumbnail tonight. So Max 2 from GoPro, their leaks are coming out heavy right now. So that tells me that the Max 2 is probably coming out in August or September. Just the way things, like once it starts leaking, then launch is imminent. The Osmo 360, so Insta360 is not having any problem shipping to the US, but DJI is having a big issue. I think DJI has really pissed some people off. So they cannot, well, I wouldn't say they cannot, they just choose not to ship to the US. To avoid tariffs from China, I had to order mine from South Korea. But travel time is the same as it was before all of these shenanigans started. So I'll be getting that camera. But my review for the DJI 360, the Osmo 360, Insta360 X5, and the GoPro Max 2, when I compare those cameras, I want to prove that DJI is not the special sauce. I think as far as 360 cameras go, and this is just my opinion, I know there's been a lot of hype videos of like people that got the camera that were supposed to say nice things about it. There's trusted sources that I've watched that DJI Osmo 360 is good at some things and bad at other things. So we'll see what happens. I think whenever I see like copycat products, I always want to like, this is like DJI's like first attempt at a 360 camera. Yes, they've had plenty of years with action cameras and stabilization and all that to come out with a camera. They've got, I think they've got the best mounting system. Insta360 already has that mounting system incorporated in their latest cameras. The biggest, the biggest thing that DJI is touting about the 360 is that the sensor is square, which is cool. It's a cool idea. I would say what screws the pooch on them is they're the only ones releasing a 360 camera this year that doesn't have removable lenses. I know that's kind of, something we've never had, and so it's not a nod to need. It's something you don't really need on 360 cameras. But now that it's out there, like it's one of those game-changing things that they really should have put on their first camera, 360 camera that came out. But I think the biggest thing that's kicking them in the foot is not being able to sell them here in the U.S. So yeah, they've mentioned that they're not. So to Mick, they mentioned, who's a 360 guy from 360 Rumors, they mentioned to him that they will not be selling it through the normal DJI channels. So I don't know if the eBay link that I bought it from eBay is, not, if it's going around the normal DJI channels. It's definitely out of stock on their website. We're going to look at that tonight. And as far as Adorama and B&H, it's coming soon. So I know for a fact that B&H is an American company. It's based in New York. So it's one of those things that, might not be coming. And from what I understand, it's not, everybody keeps calling it a ban. It's not a ban. It's a, I don't know. It's a people not, or companies not playing nice with, what the new rules of engagement are. There's other companies that are doing just fine from China. So it just happens to be DJI, and probably Skydio has a big part of attacking DJI as a company. But what excites me about all of the negativity that's going on with DJI is that hopefully a new drone company will come out of the US or come out of a different country that doesn't have issues with the US, and we'll get some of those things back, because DJI is not the only drone that I've ever flown. Like, I loved my Parrot Anafi, which was from France. I loved my Unique Typhoon H and my H Plus. Those drones were great. I've loved my Autel drones. So what DJI has done in the drone world is kind of dominated and destroyed these other companies. So I'm excited to see some competition. I saw DJI drones that were their enterprise drones that were rebranded, and I forgot what the name of it was. I ended up rebooting my computer, and I lost the link to that that website. But they're green drones made in the US that are basically DJI drones. Like, DJI has licensed all of the technology and sends them all the parts to build the drones. They're built in the US, but they're straight up enterprise, and the software is different software. So all the rules that are kind of anti-American, I guess, are being adjusted for that company. I believe it was like Azul, or I don't know. But I know I'm talking some politics right now. So I'm going to look to see what's in the comments, and I'm going to try my hardest not to get pissed off. Because last time we talked about this, I got really pissed off, and I left for a couple months. And I know there's some viewers that can get heated at times. So we are going to go through that. I'm super excited about the Max 2. The GoPro Max. So GoPro Fusion was an amazing camera. Horrible. It was not user friendly at all. Like, it just killed everybody's computers to try to use that camera. It was ahead of its time. But when the Max came out, which was GoPro's second version of a 360 camera, it was a perfect camera at the time. It was better than an Insta360 camera. Like, it had all of these. As far as an action camera, it was wonderful. It was the first time that. So Insta360 was a 360 camera company, and all the other 360 cameras, like the Gear 360, the Yi Misphere. There were a lot of different 360 cameras that all they wanted to do was create 360 videos. And then when GoPro Max came out, it was the first time. Well, it might have been the Fusion. It's probably the Fusion. But when GoPro came out with a 360 camera, they were like, you know what? Let's look at let's reframe this and turn it into a flat video. And then it's 360 got on board, and then now that's kind of the staple of what to do with the 360 camera, is to reframe the shot, not just create little planets or 360 videos. So that's pretty neat. So I'm super excited about the GoPro Max 2, and I'll show you what my favorite things about it tonight. So I'm not going to spoil that right now, but GoPro Max 2 has some things about it that are, I think, groundbreaking. I think they are I think the GoPro Max 2 is going to be the best camera that comes out, unless Insta360 has something up their sleeve. And I don't know if they do or not. So yeah. So it's 6:50 right now, 6:48. So let's go through roll call and see who all's here. So Jim, first in the house. What's up, Jim? I hope you're having a good night. Bless you, my friend. Chuck's in the house. What's up, Chuck? Hope you're having a good night. Giggles is in the house. What's up, Gigs? Hope you're having a good night, buddy. Who else do we got? CT Pirates in the house. What's up? I hope your new live stream is going well. I've been way too occupied to even watch YouTube for a while. So once I get my resume done and you know, I'm taking all of my extra time to try to find a job. So once that anxiety kind of leaves me, I'm not really anxious. I'm just, I don't know if antsy is considered anxious, but I'm just, I've got a fire under me to go find a job. My money runs out December 15th from my severance. So I'm really hoping that I get a job before that so I can start paying off some bills that I've acquired from this YouTube channel. And hopefully I'll be able to purchase the GoPro Max 2 when it's released. But hope you're having a good night. Who else do we have? Charles Galuski's in the house. Hello. Hope you're having a good night. Blessings to you. And blessings to everybody else too. Like, I know I said blessings to some and not blessings to others. I mean blessings to everybody. I'm just an old man and I get distracted. Jim is in the house. What's up, Jim? Hope you're having a good night. Eat more possum. First Okie in the chat. What's up, man? Hope you're having a good night. Blessings. Charles Galuski, Jim, Charles Galuski, Jim. And I'm trying to read your comments at the same time I'm doing roll call. Just see if there's anything in there. So Chuck says, I don't use my Insta360 much, but when I do, I have to export the footage and render in DaVinci. Yep. Yep, that's going to be the case with all of these cameras we're going to talk about tonight. So Insta360 has its studio. DJI came out with a desktop application. It has some cool features. It's not as in-depth as Insta360 Studio. And then GoPro, since this is going to be GoPro's third iteration of their camera, the Fusion software that GoPro's put out was already pretty robust, but I have a feeling they're going to update a lot of things. GoPro's really good with their software. I know that the Osmo 360 just came out. Like, I don't even know if we've had it for a week yet. So there's a good chance they're going to update that software over the next year. So maybe by Christmas time, the desktop application is going to be good for DJI, and the Mimo app is crashing all the time. So they've got some kinks to roll out, but it's their first one. So we're going to have a grace period for DJI so they can get their stuff together. But as for a first launch, they're like build quality, stabilization, and all of their like D-Log technology that they've been running for years. All of that is spot on. So there's just a couple irons they need to wrinkle out, and I believe all of the irons that all the irons that they need to wrinkle out. Did I just say that? All the wrinkles that they need to iron out can all be addressed with firmware and updates to their software. So yeah, the other problem that might happen is I'm running a beta software on my iPhone, so the new OS comes out. So all the apps might have issues with the new operating system that's coming out and new versions to Android and all that. So we'll talk about all that stuff. So Johnny Drone Flyer's in the house. What is up, my friend? Hope you're having a good night. Yeah. So 360 cameras should have removable lenses. Serviceability with action cameras is key. Yep. The Insta360 has replaceable lenses on the X5, and DJI Osmo 360 does not, which I think is a shortcoming. And then the GoPro Max has an even better, the Max 2 has an even better solution for swapping out the lenses. And if you have had a GoPro camera in the last, I can't remember the first time that they had swappable lenses. It might have been the 11 or 12, but just like the Max mod that attaches to the camera, just like a lens attaches to a DSLR camera, that's how you're gonna swap out the lenses. So super excited about that. But it'll probably be the same kind of thing where you have to buy the extended lenses. But if you guys remember, whenever I was first reviewing the GoPro Max, I was testing it out on my Segway, and I wrecked, and I, with all of my body weight, slammed the GoPro Max into the concrete, and the only thing that was scratched was that lens cover. And GoPro Max was the first company to come out with hard plastic lens covers. So GoPro is super innovative, and the GoPro Max 2 is really focused on action. So we've been going around for years with these fragile 360 cameras, at the water park or at the lake or whatever, wherever we're taking them, hiking, cliff diving, whatever. And the GoPro Max, out of all the 3 cameras that I've looked at, the GoPro Max looks the most sturdy. And so we'll go over that tonight. Who else do we have in the house? Capture Live Connection. Hope you're having a good night. Blessings to you. Ooh, uh-oh. I'm being tracked, so I better not move. I scratched my back, and that just kind of went. Oh, Bob Casey's in the house. What's up, Bob? Hope you're having a good night. We're going to talk about 360 stuff tonight. Hope that's all right with you. All right. I appreciate your positive thinking, Chuck, about my job situation. Mark White is in the house. What's up, man? Hope you're having a good night. Yeah, Mark, it is what it is. This has actually been the best layoff that's ever happened to me. Last time I got laid off, I had a month to go find a new job. So I just started driving Uber. And while I was out driving Uber, I met one of my old bosses, and he ended up calling me in a week and pretty much handed me a job. He handed me everybody else's portfolio and their resumes, and he said, "You need to look better than these people." And so I did. I'd copied, I'd made sure I had everything. I had stuff in my portfolio that matched, that was better than all the stuff that they had in their portfolio. And yeah, so it's all in God's hands. I'm still chubby, so I've never been a day without food. So I've always been taken care of. So the best thing in this situation is just not to get anxious or fearful or let any of this steal my joy. So staying positive. There are days when, I've sat at this desk for half a day, just wasting my day, and I'd like kick myself and get in the car and just go somewhere and take a walk just to get out. So trying to figure that out. Bob Casey says, in case you forgot, hit that thumbs up for Sean Foxhorn. I appreciate that. Yeah, so Chuck, you didn't realize that 360 cameras needed an app to prep the files. Interesting. So there are a lot of so a lot of the cameras have in-camera stitching, and I haven't really looked into DJI to the Osmo 360 yet. It's so new that I don't really know a lot about it. We're going to find out a lot about that tonight. We're going to go through the websites and look through them, but at least the marketing material might show us something. I'll have a better understanding when I get it in my hands. But there's a lot of 360 cameras nowadays will say in-camera stitching. And what that means is that just like, if you've got a DSLR camera that you're using log, but you have something in the camera that can bake a lookup table into the log. So the camera itself will film what it needs to film. And then there's a chip inside of it that will apply a lookup table and color correct it before, so you can get that baked into your file. So you have a huge dynamic range, but you don't have this almost black and white color, file. You get the lookup table baked in. If there's a lookup table you're going to use all the time. You can even do that with some of the higher end drones from DJI. But so with that said, if you have a 360 camera, you've got a dome on one side and a dome on the other side. You're essentially recording two videos. And then there's an algorithm in there, since your camera knows the distance, that the lenses are apart and what the stitch line should be. And there's a accelerometer in there that's telling it, where the horizon is. It's pretty easy for it to get the stitching kind of right out of the gate. Where stitching becomes more difficult is whenever, we've added all these things to our cameras now where we have dive cases. Well, dive cases refract the light a little different, so the stitching is different. Or like the X5 from Insta360, there is a cooling attachment that you can put on the outside of the camera, and so stitching is a little bit different because the camera is a little bit thicker. Or there are lens covers you can add to those cameras, and so in the desktop app you can adjust some of those things. You can even adjust if you've ever done slow motion on in Final Cut or DaVinci. There's like optical flow, and then there's like there's different versions of how that slow motion happens. So with at least with the Insta360 Studio software, and we can look at it tonight, but there are several different ways that you can stitch that footage. with the Insta360 Sphere. Most 360 cameras, the lenses are like this, but with the Insta360 Sphere, the lenses were like this. So there was a software tweak that had to happen if you use the Sphere. So there's all of those things that kind of go into it. And then depending on what camera you're using, the Insta360 R is thicker than the one, or the Insta360 One, or the, you know, all of the X's, all of the different X's. So so anyway, so every 360 camera takes 2 images, and or 3, depending on the 360 camera. Some are three cameras, some are 4, but they take all of those images, record them separately, and then they have to stitch them together. What the desktop app does is it lets you tweak some of the stitches, especially if there's something specific that it ruins. Like if you get too close to something, you might want to bring the stitching out and fix it. Like it might like cut a word in half and then take out 2 letters in the middle of it or something like that. So they all need to be rendered that way. The good thing about Insta360 and the DJI Osmo 360 has this feature as well, is you can stitch them in Premiere. I don't think anybody has added a plugin to DaVinci Resolve. So I think the DaVinci Resolve people are out of luck. But Final Cut Pro, you have to bring in a 360 file. So that's what Insta360 Studio is for. And it's like 5 minutes and all your footage, like a terabyte of footage, is already rendered. The stitching doesn't really take much. And then, so yeah, that was a really long answer to that, but yeah. Who else we got in the house? I feel like I've gone through and saw everybody. Stephen Drones, there you are. You weren't first or second or third or fourth today. What's up, man? Hope you're having a good night. I'm trying to get back on schedule. So what do we got here? Yeah, what's that about? I don't know how the crowns work. I need to watch a whole video on how those work out. All right, let's see what Stevie has to say. I'm glad that DJI is in the 360 game and GoPro is releasing a new version. We will win in the battle of 360 cameras. All 3 companies will be pushing for our purchase: Insta360, DJI, and GoPro. Yep, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So Insta360, one thing that I want to do is I want to take my Insta360 camera and walk into Best Buy and record all of the things that you can walk into Best Buy and buy. And we'll see if GoPro's 360 camera is there and its 360 X5 is there. I don't think the Osmo Action is a necessity. I really don't think it's a better camera. And they all have their strengths. Each company has their strengths when it comes to video. But the Insta360 X5, like, just because DJI came out with a 360 camera doesn't mean the X5 all of a sudden is irrelevant. it's a wonderful camera that can take great video. Everybody always complains about low light situations, but every single one of those cameras uses AI to make the low light better. Okay. The 1-inch edition that came out, what, Chuck, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, that 1-inch edition, we've already had 360 cameras with 1 inches. They still suck in low light. Like, I have low light tests on my channel from 1-inch 360 cameras that sucked. The best purpose for a 360 camera is on a nice, bright, sunny day. If you're going to take video in the dark, you need a you need a better iris. You need a better f-stop on your camera than you need a bigger sensor. So that's kind of what I can't do it. That's what this lens is for on a $4,000 camera, is so that I can take video in low light situations. These little 360 cameras they're not meant for low light. I think any camera, even the drones that come out that say they're amazing in low light, their video is not nearly as good as the video that you take with it in the daytime. So a lot of the low light situation, yeah. And I'm going to get to Bob's question, but Insta360 to get better, like, I think it does need to get better in low light, because whenever you up the shutter speed whenever you mess with the shutter, I'm not going to say up the shutter speed. Whenever you mess with the shutter to get better low light, you screw up the stabilization. So any low light situation where you're walking or go on a roller coaster or going down a water slide or anything like that on a drone, all of those things, they're just crappy video. On a tripod, like I did a 360 video, and we can watch it tonight. I did a 360 video of the fireworks with the 1-inch edition that Chuck's talking about a couple years ago, and it looked good, but there's noise, there's artifacts. So, and I've done like Christmas lights, like where we drove through the Christmas lights with I think I did that with my Garmin Verb 360 a long time ago, and which was my favorite 360 camera. I wish Garmin would have continued to make 360 cameras, because the build quality of the Garmin Verb 360 was the best 360 camera still to this day that I've ever seen as far as build goes. But I mean, it was like a Canon DSLR cinema camera for 360. So yeah, so Stevie said that he still enjoys his X5, and he doesn't plan on getting the DJI 360. He's gonna wait for version 2. That's a really good idea, I think, to not like jump into the hype and wait for the camera to get really good. Like the Avata, awesome drone. Avata 2, 10 times better in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like DJI has really jumped the game when it came to goggles. Like, they've got so many like half decent goggles up until they got to like the recent goggles. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we made these goggles and we didn't know remote ID was going to happen. So now, like, everybody has their phones hanging off of their goggles, and like, so then they came out with another version of the goggles. Then they came out with another version, and there was like the goggles, and then the goggles V2, and then the goggles kind of V2, and then, like, you know what I mean, the Integras. And so your first idea isn't always the best idea. The good news about the Osmo 360 is they have a lot of like they're not breaking any ground. Like there are tons of 360 cameras that have come out. One of my first videos on this YouTube channel, I was unboxing a 360 camera. It was the Xiaomi Mishrir. Pretty sure that's how you said it. And yeah, that was one of my first videos on this channel, and my channel is like 9 years old. So there's that. So yeah, DJI always comes back stronger. Their engineers are great. I totally agree. Yep. Yeah. So Stevie, a great option for, using the Osmo 5 is wonderful, right? And the Osmo 360, like using a 360 camera with the same log system, the same color science as the Osmo 5 is a great idea. Insta360, the Ace Pro 2 is ridiculous, is a ridiculously good camera. In my opinion, I think it's the best action camera out there. But the audio system's better on DJI. Insta360 is trying to catch up. You can use DJI's audio system on the Insta360 cameras, though. So there's that. But X5 color science matches the Ace Pro 2. So there's that. And then when GoPro Max 2 comes out, there'll be a GoPro Hero 14 that comes out with it. And so their color science will be together. So staying in the same ecosystem, I think, is a great idea. And we have tons of options coming out this year, which is wonderful. So Bob said, like interactive 360. I do a lot of stuff in VR, and so I really enjoy looking around. But the thing that I don't enjoy is, like, I don't like standing up to look at things. So most of my VR, I'm sitting here looking at my Vision Pro or my Meta Quest 3. I really only look at this. Because if I turn my chair around, I'll hit my desk and knock my coffee over or something like that. So I generally like to just look forward. But every once in a while, I'll go in the living room where I've got plenty of space and I'll look around. All right. Sorry, I didn't freeze. There wasn't a glitch in my system. I was just reading. So Bob said, is that where 360 needs to go? Better low light? I think it would help, to be honest. You're going to need a lot bigger lens. Where all these companies are coming from, like the easiest camera to sell is the one that everybody can put in their purse, can put in their pocket, can put in their wallet. I don't know why I said wallet, but the camera that's used the most is the one that's on you. And if you have to carry like a big camera bag, or you have to carry like, a backpack just to bring your camera around, it's a whole lot easier to sell to a bunch of consumers than to sell like a $4,000 camera to a real estate company or something like that. So I would say, do I have my Q-cam? I don't think I have it over here. I've got some 360 cameras that have really big lenses on them that are better in low light, and are made for like live streaming concerts. So there are a lot of cameras with better lenses out there, but I I don't think DJI, GoPro, and Insta360 are going to mass produce professional cameras. You know what I mean? Like if you go to get the I don't know, a lot of times like the consumer cameras that you can buy at Best Buy, they mass produce them in large quantities because it's not too hard for a lot of people to just walk into a store and spend $800. But if you're walking into Best Buy and spending like $4,000, um, a lot of stores don't keep that in stock because not a lot of people are walking in and purchasing those things. So the need would have to be there. If you watch, like I watch a lot of concerts in VR, and usually they have they use bigger cameras. They use like two GH5s, or they use um, Canon R5Cs. They've got two of them back to back, and they're pulling in a lot of data with fisheye lenses and stuff like that. So they're out there, but as far as um, in my opinion, the three cameras I'm talking about tonight are 360 point and shoot cameras. And by that, I mean, you pull it out of your pocket, you either turn it on and then hit record, or you just hit the record button, it turns on and starts recording, and then turn it off. And then you can play with it in post, but there's a lot of things that you can't, there's some dynamic range, but if you compare that to a mirrorless camera or like a cinema camera, you wouldn't have near as much quality. And that's why a lot of it looks muddy, because whenever people flatten it out, they try to boost it up to 4K, and they get the resolution wrong. And the other thing is it's an infinity focus. So it's either an infinity focus or it's close to an infinity focus. So whenever you have everything in focus, like, it doesn't look the best. And then I've noticed a lot of the 360 cameras that I will put on my drone, the drone looks great, which is what I don't really care about. And then the ground, or everything that's in the distance, doesn't look the best, because the focal length is in the wrong spot. So there's that. What time is it? I feel like I've been talking a lot and not showing you anything tonight. So let's get through this. Where are we at? So I'm 10 minutes behind. Yeah. So Chuck, we're going to look at the GoPro Max 2. So the 1-inch edition was a heavy camera, and they shouldn't have released a selfie stick that couldn't handle that big camera. I've used a boom stand, which is nice and thick, and I actually took it to South Florida drone meetup, and Stevie saw it, Chris saw it, and Bob saw it. But like, that's one of the things we're going to talk about with the Max 2. The selfie stick is thick and strong, so super excited about that. And it's meant for jumping out of a plane or going on a dog sled or whatever. I hope I didn't miss anybody. So yep, I had a squirrel moment. All right, Bob. Yeah, Bob, I don't have a job, so let's do it at some point. I'd really like to go up there. Man, this week. It was really cool here. I don't know what it's like in Kentucky, but it was really nice. Bob, don't tell people how long my stick is. Come on now. Just kidding. All right. I'm going to get something on the screen. We're going to talk about it. The Insta360 X5 and the Osmo 360, you guys both know about. Or you all know about both of them. I don't know if I worded that right. So what we're going to talk about first is the GoPro Max 2. There are a couple of things. Yeah, we're going to go through these things. There's been some photos that have been released, and so we're going to go. Yeah, we're going to show you that. All right. So this is notebook check. So notebookcheck.net. So that is me citing my source. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller to see if you guys can. Yeah, we're going to do that. So I'm going to read some of the things to you, but we're going to look at this image first. And I just kind of want to show you what's going on with this. It's small. Why is it small? I wonder if I can click on it. Yep. There we go. That's better. All right, let's make it big again. All right, it didn't get any bigger. So this is the Max 2. And I want to draw your attention to several things. The selfie stick area down here is as thick as the camera is. What I like about it is they haven't changed much from the original Max, but it's just very kind of utilitarian. They've done it with some of their other cameras with the I forget what it's called, like the GoPro Mini, maybe. The recent camera that they came out that was very stripped down. They had these kind of radiator fins on the side for cooling. So I'm super excited about this. So what this means is there's a lot of processing power in this camera, and they're trying to make sure that it doesn't overheat. This selfie stick down here is awesome. I am super excited about this. The other thing that I want to show you guys is that this lens right here just twists off. Okay, so both lenses just kind of twist off. And so I'm hoping, and something else that I'm hoping that happens with this. I don't know if you guys saw that Insta360 is coming out with ND filters for the X5, and so you can add ND filters on the outside. So I'm hoping they come out with different versions of these lenses that makes the Max, you know, like I think an ND version of this lens would be awesome. So we're gonna do this. This is what it looks like with the regular selfie stick. That should give you kind of an idea of what the size is. Definitely waterproof. Super excited about that. This is a perfect example of using a regular GoPro and the Max 2. Now this Max 2 has blue letters, where this one does not have. Well, maybe that is blue letters. Maybe it's just really lit. But we've got I'm just super excited about this camera. I think the GoPro Max 2 is long overdue. But we're going to read through some of this. DJI has just released this long-awaited Osmo 360 action camera globally. In response, GoPro has now posted a fresh teaser suggesting the Max 2 will have a distinct advantage over DJI's newcomer. Influencers have started posting about the Max 2, indicating its imminent official launch. GoPro has stepped up its teaser game following the launch of the DJI Osmo blah 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 for. All right, I don't need to read all that. On one hand, DJI has sought to maximize raw camera performance by including a 1/1.1 inch CMOS sensor that can capture 360-degree footage at up to 120 megapixels and 8K 30 frames per second. So that's what the DJI Osmo can do. On the other hand, GoPro has not confirmed when the Max 2 will be available yet, nor is what it's bringing to the table over the existing Max. Now, for a lot of you who don't know, the GoPro Max came out with a update in 2025. So they released a new version of the Max in 2025, and they just updated a lot of the firmware, updated the chipset inside, and also added the new fins on the bottom. Instead, it has now posted a short teaser across social media highlighting potential advantage of the Max 2 over the Osmo 2. Namely, the Max 2 will support replaceable lenses in the case of one being damaged. In an appropriate dig at DJI, GoPro notes that one only needs to twist on the new lens into place rather than using a set of tools and requiring post-installation calibration. So what that means is Insta360 X5, it was the first 360 camera that came out with replaceable lenses that the consumer can replace. And you could always send your camera back and they'd fix it. But you can actually buy replaceable lenses for your X5, which would be great if you were going on vacation and you knew you might scratch the lens. It'd be nice to have those on hand. But you have to use a tool to unscrew it. You have to use the tool to put it back in. Then you have to calibrate your camera in order to get it to work. And so on social media, GoPro, their title right here says, "Accidents happen, excellence delivers. No tools, no calibration, twist and go." So, and the video, let's see if we can watch it. So this is the Max 2. Designed to be replaced. So that's the teaser that GoPro, it's GoPro's official Twitter or official X put out. So I think that's pretty awesome. Yeah, and Insta360 is about to come out with the new Go. So that's kind of big. I have a feeling the Go will come out before the X6 or whatever, if they have the R3 or something like that. So that's the GoPro Max. So let's go to something that was announced today that I already purchased. I'm videoing a wedding in September. So I thought it'd be great to have another. So I was planning on getting another X5 anyway. But what they announced today was the white version of the X5, which looks super sick to me. And I think will be just like DJI came out with a white version of their mic and they've got a black, all their mics are black. This is a white version of the camera. So, a black camera is kind of hard to hide in like a wedding scenario where everything's white. So the white 360 camera, I'm going to be able to kind of hide that in kind of like a white area and then a black area. So super cool. I think it's super cool. I can also turn the X5s into a Insta360 or into a VR 180 camera using 2 of them. So I'm super excited about that. So let's go through what the Insta360 X5 is, what all it has. So the Insta360 X5 has 8K 30 frames per second 360 video with dual 1/1.28 sensors. Invisible selfie stick, they all have that, so that's not even a feature anymore. It's got triple AI chips for super low light situations, which is good, but AI does a lot of, so triple AI chip. The key word there is AI chip. All these cameras use AI to make the 360 better. And what I saw was in the comparison video by Hugh, he showed that the Insta360 X5 has ghosting where the DJI Osmo doesn't. So they use a different, they compensate for low light in a different way. And it might be the technology that they've got in there, like the Air 3S and the, the new 4. They all do really good in low light. Tougher with replaceable lenses. You can see right here, there's a tool that they use to replace the lens, but it also has a mount on the outside of the lens where you can add, lens guards and stuff like that. 208 minutes of battery life. It's got a wind guard on it for clearer audio, flow state stabilization. They all have stabilization. So it's got 2 Pro imaging chips and an AI chip that helps with stitching. So it was a 360 GOAT a while back. It might not be the GOAT anymore. They're all pretty consistent, I think. But it's got a larger sensor size than the X4. 13.5 stops of dynamic range, which is great. And it's got 140% better computing power than the last version. So capture your world with astonishing true-to-life image quality. X5 uses super sampling from 11K to 8K, making it far more detailed and clearer than delivering true immersive clips. So what oversampling means, like I just got a Canon R6 Mark II that shoots 6K video and then downsamples it to 4K. And what that means is it's taking a really good image and then squeezing it down. So there's more information within those pixels. So it's actually an 11K 360 camera that squishes down to 8K. But by the time you watch it, you're really looking at 4K video in your headset. So AI pure video. So there's normal night mode and then AI pure video. So it just does a really good job with white balance and, bringing your image back. This is the tool that I mentioned of removing the lens, putting in the new lens, screwing it back on, and then you're good to go. 5.7K 60 frames per second in active HDR mode. And then it also says, now upgraded to 60 frames per second, the innovative mode captures stunning details and colors and highlights and shadows and delivers superb stabilization even in action-packed moments. So if you're a hot girl on a horse and you're on a beach, like the HDR mode, that HDR is ridiculous. I want you to look at the water. like the detail in the water, the reflection on the water. That's a brilliant scene, by the way. Like there's so like the sunset, the beach, the water, the ripples on the beach, like all that's just amazing. Um, invisible selfie stick, blah blah blah. That's been done for a long time. Everything, everywhere, all at once. So what's cool about the all these 360 cameras in the software, you can point at different things. So all of this action's happening in one scene, but it's showing that you can reframe and you can get the bicycle, then you can zoom out on the bicycle, and then you can look forward, and then you can look at the van. You can do all that with those cameras. So I'm sure the Mimo app and the Insta360 app are going to be pretty similar. Whoever comes out with it first, usually the other company just kind of copies. So yeah, DJI is going to copy everything that Insta360 and other 360 cameras have done in the past, just because like that's your beta testing right there. Like user research. The easiest research to do is just to go buy your competitor's camera and play around with it. So Insta360 also has ultra wide POVs, point of views, so 4K 60 frames per second in single lens mode. So go even wider with max view in free frame video, featuring a 170 degree field of view 4K mode. So you can use it as an action camera. So it's pretty awesome. 72 megapixel 360 photos, which are pretty ridiculous. It's action ready. Clearer video with, or clearer audio with all new wind guard. Yep. So there is a lightweight wireless microphone. Okay, so there's a microphone that competes with the DJI, but isn't anywhere close. I haven't heard anybody say that the mic Air from Insta360 is better than any of the DJI microphones. So if you're going to use a mic solution, I would just use a DJI mic and attach it to your selfie stick, and use you can use Bluetooth. Bluetooth isn't very good though, so you really need to use like a USB-C to USB-C cable. Hypercharging, which is awesome. Flow state stabilization's amazing. Horizon lock, they're all going to have this. But that's what makes these, like, these shots are magical. You couldn't get this a couple years ago. So pretty neat. Waterproof to 49 feet, which is great. That's like scuba diving level, or that's like snorkeling level, not scuba diving. Snap on and shoot. So it has, the same type of magnetic snap-on system that we got from I believe the Osmo Action 3 maybe, or 2, whatever that little square one was. Twist and shoot gesture. So if you want to start recording and you're skiing, you can just twist the camera and it'll start shooting. Has gesture control, so you can, I shouldn't do that with my camera, because the Insta360 camera I'm coming to you on has gesture control. And then voice control. So what I would use voice control for is if I had two cameras in close proximity and I said, Insta360 start recording, and it would just do that for me. They use a lot of AI on the latest cameras to frame correctly. So these are all different ways to readjust the footage. They also have de-warp, which straightens out all the lines but makes you look kind of weird. And they have a cloud service. So I don't know if DJI has a cloud service or not, but GoPro and Insta360 both have cloud services now where you can save your files. And I believe you can even render in the cloud. So if you're like out, like let's say you're a travel vlogger, like we've got one of those in this chat right now, and you've spent, several hours recording footage, you've got all these clips, and you sit down at lunch. While you're at lunch, you can upload all the files from your camera to the cloud, and it will go ahead and render those things in 360 for you. So by the time you get back to your hotel, you already have files rendered to throw into DaVinci Resolve and make it happen. So Bob Casey says, I wish GoPro all the best, American-made company. Yep, I agree with that. If the Max 2 is better than the Osmo 360, then that's kind of failure at launch. And I think it'll be a kick in the face, because when the GoPro Karma came out, that was the drone everybody was going to buy until the Mavic Pro came out the next day, and everybody canceled their GoPro Karma, canceled their GoPro Karma requests and moved to the DJI. So it's almost like this is like revenge for GoPro. Star lapses, time, so bullet time, which I always think is a gimmick. I think it's kind of stupid. Star lapse, which is pretty awesome for a 360 camera. It's wonderful to watch that in VR, by the way. It's really cool. Time shift. I'm sure the Osmo will do that too. Time lapse. All really cool video, especially if you're doing like for websites or social media. Wonderful. Insta360 Studio has been out for several years, and so it just keeps getting better and better and better. So there's one other accessory I wanted to show you guys. I don't see it on here. So there's a preview remote, which I haven't even reviewed yet. I have it. But they just came out with a preview remote that has, where's it at? So the other good news is the Insta360 X5. So the Midnight Edition will ship in 2 days from Insta360. So they have no problem selling to the US. And the White Edition, they just announced it today, will estimated dispatch in 7 days. So in a week, they will send me the one that I purchased. There's a lot of different bundles. I'm super excited about it because I got the Essentials bundle. And look at it's got a white selfie stick, which I'm so excited about. White battery. Yep, standard lens guards. But I wanted to show you guys some of the accessories for the X5 that they just came out with. These are ND filters. They are super expensive. They are very expensive, y'all. $60 for the ND32, $60 for the ND64, and 16. So the 16s are out of stock, but the 64 and the 32 are not out of stock. So their estimated dispatch is 21 days from now. So that's a new product that they haven't made a lot of yet. Replacement lens kit is $30. So that's pretty cool. If you're a skier, I think this is great. There's a water sport rope, and so you can put it on your ski rope. And then this one right here, GPS preview remote with built-in mic. So if you wear this on your wrist, you can preview your 360 camera, and you can talk to it. So built-in microphone delivers high-quality audio with 2 adjustable noise reduction modes for clear sound. Record in 24-bit or 32-bit floating point. So float recording, which means it records on your wrist, and then you can add it later. But I have a feeling that it syncs. I don't know this for sure, but if I was making it, I would make sure that they synced audio. All right, let's go to the Osmo 360, and I will give you kind of my 2 cents on it. You got 1-inch 360 images, native 360 video with exceptional low light performance, 120 megapixel 360 photos. So that's almost twice as much as the X5. 4K 120 frames per second and 170-degree boost. So that's twice as fast as the X5. Magnetic quick release ecosystem. Oh, the best thing that DJI did is they put metal pins on the bottom of the Osmo 360, so you can charge it through the bottom of the camera. So you don't have to have a cable dangling like to the USB-C drive. So that's the best thing that they did on this camera, and that sets it out from the rest. You can use the Osmo microphones that are really great, and then 100-minute recording. I think the X5 was 208 minutes. And then this camera has 10-bit D-Log performance, which is on paper better. Specifically designed to capture 360, the all-new square HDR image sensor maintains the same 360 image field from a traditional 1-inch sensor while increasing sensor utilization by 25%. So basically what they did is most sensors are rectangular, and what they did was they made a square sensor so all of the information on the left and the right wasn't wasted. 8K 360 video, 13.5 stops of dynamic range, which is the same. 8K 50 frames per second, which is pretty cool. 4K 100 frames per second. These videos look great on the website. The videos that I saw on YouTube were not as good, so it might be YouTube compression, but we'll see how they stack up. Stunning low light performance. So it's got a f.19 aperture, which is great. 120 megapixel 360 photo, pretty awesome, which is 16K. So the photos are 16K, so you can actually put out a 16K time lapse with the Osmo 360. So that is something I'm going to do and try. 10-bit D-Log, amazing. Invisible selfie stick. Selfie mode, single lens, endless possibilities. So also isn't just about 8K 360 footage. You can, with a quick switch, it transforms into a first-person ultra-wide action camera. So the single lens mode is 5K 60 frames per second. Buttery 4K 120 frames per second. So I'm really excited to see what that looks like. The ideal vlogger companion. So there is a switch back and forth button in single lens mode. So that's interesting. Interesting. Small size, only 183 grams. So it's super light. And I've got 4 viewers, so I've lost everybody. Sweet. 100 minutes of 8K footage in the battery. Oh, it also has 105 gigabytes of built-in storage, so you don't even have to bring an SD card with you. High-speed transfer over USB-C, stereo recording, and battery lock. It's got Rocksteady 3.0. Waterproof and resistance. So it's ready to go underwater up to 10 meters, which is like 30 feet. We already talked about that. They also have an effortless magnetic charging handle. By the looks of it, this handle will not be invisible. But you'll be able to do your vlogging with it with the single lens mode. Gesture control, Bluetooth headset audio. So if you've got like a motorcycle helmet, you can do that. Sport dashboard. So you can add telemetry. You can do that with Insta360 cameras as well. Capture instantly. And then fast charging. So Insta360 had that too. From the 360 editing, you can have intelligent tracking. Like Insta360 has been doing that for a while. Gyro frame, Insta360 has been doing that for a while. Editing assistant, Insta360 talked about that as well. Multi-platform editing support. Edit your 360 videos from start to finish, whether you're using DJI Neo or DJI Studio. DJI Studio offers a full suite of built-in tools so you can edit, export, and share your creations all in one place. Plus, with the dedicated Premiere plugin, which Insta360 has as well, you can streamline your workflow and create stunning 360 videos directly in Premiere. Let's talk about the accessories. So there's the extension rod. There's a lot of mounts. Insta360 has a lot of mounts. They're all really just selfie sticks. There's a helmet mount. I would say this is the best one to get, the Osmo 1.9 meter or 1.2 meter invisible selfie stick kit. Insta360, yeah, that's really the only one that's proprietary that I might get. Or the Osmo adjustable quick release adapter mount. Then I can use all of my Insta360 stuff. So if you go to in America, everything is out of stock on DJI's website. So even though it says out of stock, it's not really out of stock. They just won't sell to America right now. So yeah, there's that. I'm going to get it. I'm going to do some review videos on it. But my videos will be coming from the perspective of an American that, I mean, if you can't buy it on the shelf, nobody's going to buy it here. So I'm going to make comparison videos, but if the benefits of the camera are not worth the hassle of trying to bootleg it through South Korea, then it's kind of a wash. Like I think the Mavic 4 Pro is beautiful, but I can't get my hands on it. Don't want to spend the money to get my hands on it. And so so I have other 4K drones that do a good job. So anyway, that's where I'm at with that. If you can't buy it, then there's no point. So with that said, hope you guys have a good night. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and to this. Make sure you like this video. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you are not from America and you're getting the Osmo 360, or if you are in America and you want you're going to get it later. If you think this is a great 360 camera, or is the X5 good enough for what you do? To me, the X5 is great. It's amazing. And the GoPro Max 2 is going to be amazing. So super excited for all of that. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'm planning on doing this every Tuesday night from now on. I took a break. It was a good break. I got rejuvenated, got the sides of my hair cut off. It's probably the first mullet I've had in a long time. But yeah, got a new haircut, getting my resume, getting my portfolio put together, all the things. Yeah, anyway, with all that said, hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace out.